and welcome to the latest edition of Explore Richland. I'm your host, Mark Ingham. Well, today we are exploring at one of the most popular destinations in all of town. That's right, the Richland Public Library. Now, when I think of the Richland Library, I constantly think of all the educational programs, activities, and classes put on here, and those offerings are certainly going to increase with the creation of the brand new STEAMspace here. Now, to talk about it all, we've asked the technical support specialist here at the Richland Library, Joanna Talbot, to come onto the program today. Joanna, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
Well, Joanna, let's start at the beginning. What is the STEAMspace and what does STEAM stand for?
So STEAM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics. And so the STEAMspace is a space that we've set apart in the library where we can offer programs that focus on those 5 aspects. And it's a safe space for all age groups, and it fosters lifelong learning.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, when did the idea of STEAM learning, make its way into the Richland Public Library?
Well, it's been a pretty hot topic with education for a while. There's a lot of schools that focus on it, so it was just kind of a natural progression that it would end up in the library. The library, starting with the children's program, we've been doing some STEAM programming for a couple of years now. Oh, wow. And they've been hugely popular, so we decided that we needed to have a space where we focus on that.
Oh, wow, yeah, and piggybacking off that, I was going to ask, when was the STEAMspace completed? And you kind of answered it, but why was a space like this, a designated space, needed?
So the STEAMspace construction started in May of this year, of 2017. And it started in April, finished up in May, and we had our grand opening in August. Oh. Previously, when we had programs, it was in various conference rooms or in the children's room, our children's section, and that made it hard to keep the noise contained, and it also meant that there were some things that we couldn't do because we didn't have access to running water, we didn't have access to stoves, we didn't have access to a lot of electrical outlets, and so this makes it to where we can have access to all those things, and we can increase the amount of programs that we have on offer.
That's great. And the STEAMspace is sort of a great example of repurposing space, and I'm kind of just curious about what space used to be here and what funding sources made the STEAMspace possible. So
this section of the library used to be dedicated to the teen section, and we've rearranged our space a little bit, so we moved the teen space forward in the library. It's a little bit closer to the front door. And we rearranged the teen computers so they're a little closer to the general use computers. And in doing that, that freed up this space so we could enclose it and create a classroom space.
Well, Joanna, what programs and classes are offered in the STEAMspace, and can the community kind of pitch in ideas to you guys?
Yeah, we offer all kinds of programs. One of our most popular one is for children with Osmobots, and that's a really good way of teaching coding to kids by using tiny robots. It teaches the basic concepts of coding. So those are always popular. Another thing that is becoming more popular is our 3D printing. We've got some upcoming classes in 3D printing and some lectures. We've got a couple of different types of 3D printers, and some of the things that people might use 3D printing for, we had somebody come in a couple of weeks ago who had a broken part on his lawnmower and needed to reprint it, and so we helped him find the part and reprint it. So there's a lot of applications, and if people are interested, we have a couple lectures coming up where we're talking about the uses of 3D printing and how it's going to impact everyday life. We're trying to incorporate the arts into this space. It's pretty easy to incorporate all the STEM stuff, but the arts also apply. And so to that end, we're trying to build up our collection of fiber arts supplies and equipment. And so we have a sewing machine available for the public to use. We're going to try to offer some sewing classes, some knitting classes, some crocheting classes, and different kinds of arts classes as well, like painting, sketching, things like that. And if at all possible, I'm going to try to incorporate those artistic concepts into the technology as well. So for cross stitchers, we have programs where you can create your own patterns using the computer, print it off, and then start your needlework.
Oh, that's great. And I just have to ask, because some of us aren't too familiar with 3D printing, and this is actually a rose that was printed from the 3D printer. So maybe just can you quickly describe just like how this even works, how this is possible, what is it? You know what I mean?
Okay, so the way the 3D printer works is we have the plastic, it's called PLA, and it runs through the printer, which melts it, and then it runs through an extruder that lays down the layers of the 3D print. The 3D prints come from, there's multiple ways you can get a 3D print. There's places called, sites called Thingiverse, which people who have experience with 3D modeling can create their own 3D models and upload them to share for free on the internet. So if you're looking for something, you can go find it, download the print, and then print it on our printer. We also have a lot of 3D modeling software that we have available here, and there's a bunch of free stuff online as well. So people can create their own 3D model, and then the computer will help will create the program to lay down the base for the project and then print it.
Wow, that's very cool. And Joanna, what is the hope for this space, and what do you hope you are providing the community with it?
It's our hope for this space is that it'll become a place that fosters creativity and provides people access to things that they may not have access to at home. We're hoping that people will use the space to come and tinker. If you don't know how to do something, you can come to the library, and maybe we can hook you up with somebody who might be able to teach you how to do it or give you the opportunity to sit down and tinker with it and figure it out on your own.
Wow, that's great. That's perfect. Thanks, Joanna. And the staff here at the Richland Public Library has done a great job programming with the STEAMspace so far, and I just can't wait to see how the space will evolve and transition through the coming years. Now, of course, if you would like more information on the STEAMspace or the Richland Public Library, you can go ahead and visit them at the link below. And while you're visiting them on their webpage, please take their short 24-question patron satisfaction survey. Library staff certainly values your comments that you leave there. And don't forget, if you're not following the City of Richland on our social media platforms, we strongly encourage you to log on and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. We're always sharing tons of important information on our social media platforms. Well, before I leave, I got to figure out how to make some code with these Ozobots here. So thanks for joining me on this edition of Explore Richland. We'll see you next time. All right, here we go. I'm going to make a star or something. Let's see what this guy can do. Yeah.